Hi children, good morning. I welcome you all to today's video class. In today's video class, I am going to teach you the second chapter of your grammar book, Collins English Grammar, that is pronouns. Already I have learned much and more about nouns. Noun is a naming word. It may be the name of anything, maybe the name of a person, place and a thing. That's called generally noun. Okay, fine. Then what is pronoun? Pronoun is a noun used for another noun. Pronoun is a noun used for another noun, or a noun used in the place of another noun is called a pronoun. Okay, we use these pronouns to refer to the person, place and thing. Therefore, generally they are called personal pronouns. So, a noun used for another noun, a noun used instead of another noun is called a pronoun. So, in order to avoid the repetition of some noun, we use some special nouns in the place of such nouns. So, such nouns are called pronouns. So, a noun used instead of another noun is called a pronoun. Okay. See, the pronouns, they have three forms. The person who speaks, he is first person. Then the person who is spoken to, he is called second person. The person who is spoken of, he is called third person. Okay, so first person stands for the person who speaks. Second person stands for the person who is spoken to. Third person stands for the person who is spoken of. Okay, fine. Now, first person, singular. See, first person, singular, I. This is singular, we, plural. Okay, so first person singular, I. First person plural, we. So, first person stands for the person who speaks. The person who speaks. Okay. Next thing, second person. Second person stands for the person. Second person stands for the person who is spoken to whom you speak. He is called a second person. Second person singular, you. Second person plural also, you. So, grammarians say that before second person we have to use only plural verbs. You stands for both the singular as well as plural. Suppose you stand up, if you give such instruction to the students in the classroom, if you call a particular boy and if you ask him or her to stand up, then there you stands for singular. Suppose if you give some general instruction to all students in the class, there also you will use you. So it stands for plural. So second person singular is you, second person plural is also you. Okay, nice children. Then come to the third person. Third person, who is third person? The person who is spoken of. He is not here. The person who is spoken of is called the third person. Third person singular. I will write, see, third person. Third person singular, he. Third person plural, she. Sorry, third person singular, he, she and it. Third person plural, they. Okay. So, third person stands for the person who is spoken of. Third person singular, he, she, it. Third person plural, they. He, she and it. Third person singular, they, third person plural. Here I would like to give you one important, see, grammatical rules, or I like to share with you. What is that? In the third person singular, in the present tense, after this third person singular, you have to use singular form of the verb only. That is, you have to add s or es to the verb. He reads a book. She reads a book. It reads a book. Okay. He drinks coffee. She drinks coffee. It drinks milk. So third person singular, he, she, it, third person plural, they. Okay, children. See, they are all personal pronouns. They are in the subject form because these personal pronouns are used as a subject of a sentence. As a subject of a sentence. For example, I am a teacher. We are all students of Trinity International School. You are the leader of your class. And he is my father. She is my mother. It's my pet dog. They are my friends. They are my neighbors. They are my classmates. So all these forms are called a subject form of personal pronouns because sentence begins with these subjects. Okay, so they are called a subject form. Do you know, children, the object form for all these personal pronouns? So here they are called a subject form of personal pronouns. So let me give you the object form of all these personal pronouns. I, me, that is the object form. We, as, object form. You, singular for plural, both. Object form is you only. He, him. She, her. It, they, them. Okay. So they are all object form. So this is subject form. I, we, you, he, she, it, they. Object form of personal pronouns. Object form of personal pronouns. I, me. We, us. You, he, him. She, her. It, they, them. Okay, fine. Next, possessive adjective form. Possessive adjective form of personal pronouns. See, I, my. The possessive adjective form is my. We are, our. But it's generally we pronounce it our. India is our country. Trinity International School is our school. And then see the possessive adjective form for you. You are. You are. Okay, fine. He, his. She, her. It, its. They, their. Okay. They, their. These are all the possessive adjective forms. You have one more form, that is possessive pronoun. Possessive pronoun. I, me, my, mine. See, I, me, my, mine. They are various forms of personal pronouns. We, as, our, ours. Then you, your, yours. He, him, his. She, her, hers. It, its. Its. They, them, theirs. Okay, children, all of you must know these forms of personal pronouns. So they are called a subject form because they are used as subjects of verb or they are used as subjects of a sentence. A sentence, a statement begins with these subjects, therefore they are used as a subject of a sentence. Here I have given you another forms of personal pronouns. They are called objects because they are used as an object of a sentence or objects of the verb in a sentence. For example, I see, he gave me a pen. My TC for the second, our teacher taught us English grammar. See, I gave you a pen to write. I gave you my ideas. I gave him. I shared with him. Okay, I advised him. I directed him. Her. I helped her. I helped her. I gave it food. I gave it food. I gave them best wishes. Okay, fine. So in all these cases you can find one thing. They are called objects. What is the difference between subject and object form? Subject is the doer of the action, but object is the receiver of the action. Subject is the doer of the action, object is the receiver of the action. Okay, then possessive adjectives. It stands for belongingness. It refers to the ownership. It refers to the possession. Therefore, they are all called possessive adjective form. My pencil, our country, your idea, his shirt, her rings, its tail, their lunchbox, their houses. Okay, fine. Their vehicles, their books. And the last one, possessive pronoun. This is called a possessive pronoun. So, possessive pronoun. Do you know the place of possessive pronoun? Normally, these possessive pronouns comes at the end of a sentence. They come at the end of a sentence. This is my pen. This is my pen. This pen is mine. This is our school. This school is ours. India is our country. India is, see, this country is ours. Yours. This is your book. This book is yours. Okay. This is his pen. This is his book. This is his mobile. This pen is his. This is her box. This is her pencil. This pencil is hers. This is her idea. This is her plan. This plan is hers. Okay. It is its tail. The tail is its. The long tail is its. It is their contribution. The contribution is theirs. Okay. So, they are all the various forms of pronoun. Okay, children. Next, I will give you kinds of personal pronouns and I will give you also example for each kind. You know that personal pronouns are of many kinds. I will give you definition for each type and I will give you also see the definition as well as the examples for each type. Okay, I will give you examples also. Okay, children, kinds of personal pronouns. First kind, demonstrative pronoun. See, kinds of pronoun. Okay, see, to begin with, demonstrative pronoun. Okay, what do you mean by demonstration? Demonstration indicates or points out the specific person or specific thing. You have to demonstrate, that means you are going to pinpoint it or you are going to specify it or you are going to point it out, finger out like that. Okay, so these pronouns do the function of pointing out or indicates. See, indicates or points out. Indicates or points out. Which one you want to refer? Which one you want to refer? So, demonstrative pronoun indicates or points out the specific person or thing being talked about in a sentence. So many persons are there, but sometimes you may talk about a person. Who is that person? Who is that thing? Who is that? What is that place? So, demonstrative pronoun helps us to point out or to indicate the specific person whom we are talking about. The specific person whom we are talking about. See, do you know what are all demonstrative pronouns? This, that, these, those. This, that, these and those. They are called a demonstrative pronouns. They are called a demonstrative pronouns. This, that, these and those. See children, these four are called a demonstrative pronoun. This and that are always used with singular nouns. This and that are always used with singular nouns. These and those are always used with plural nouns. These and those are always used with plural nouns. For example, this is my car. I'll give you example. This is my car. Okay. Then that is his house. That is his house. That is his house. Okay. So this is my car, that is his house. See, I use singular noun only, my car and his house. So this and that are always used with singular nouns. Don't forget children, keep it in your mind. This and that are always used with singular nouns. Here I would like to say one more thing. This refers to things which is nearer to you. This stands for the thing which is nearer to you. For example, this is my mobile. Because it is nearer to me. See, that is your vehicle. It is at some distance. It is far off from me. It is not near to me. It is at some distance. So when you talk about the thing which is far away from you, there you have to use that. But when a thing is very nearer to you, there you have to use this. Okay, fine. This is my car means the car is nearer to you. You are nearer to the car. That is his house. So you are far away from that his house. Okay, fine. So you should know that difference also. Okay, fine. Children, next, these and those. They are always used with the plural nouns. These and those are always used with the plural nouns. See, I will give you some examples. These books are interesting. These books are interesting. These books are new. Okay, these books are interesting. Those animals are wild. Those animals are wild. Okay, so you just compare these two sentences. See, these books, those animals. So these and those are always used with the plural nouns. These stands for group of things, or these stands for the plural nouns which are nearer to you. These stands for plural nouns which are nearer to you. Those stands for plural nouns which are far away from you. Okay, fine. So these books are interesting. These books are mine. Those books are yours. You can say, you can frame many sentences. You can frame hundreds and hundreds of sentences. Okay. So these four, this, that, these, those are called a demonstrative pronouns because they points out. They indicates the specific noun which is spoken of. We are talking about that noun alone. So these four indicate such nouns, specific nouns which are about which we are talking. Therefore, they are called a demonstrative. Demonstration means pointing out. Okay, fine. So this, that, these and those are called a demonstrative pronoun. We use singular subject with this and that. We use plural subjects with plural nouns with these and those. This refers to singular object or noun nearer to you. That stands for singular object far off from you. These stands for plural objects nearer to you. Those stands for plural object far off from you. Okay, children. Next type. See, first one demonstrative pronoun. What is the next one? See, I will write the definition for the next kind of pronoun and I will give you example also. See, first one demonstrative pronoun, second distributive pronoun. Distributive pronoun. Okay children, you know what is distribution? Distribution is an act of sharing things or ideas with each and every one of the participants. See, we usually celebrate Independence Day. After the flag hoisting, sweets are distributed to all students, to all participants. Okay, so distribution means an act of sharing or giving away something to each and everyone. So here we have some pronouns. Such pronouns refers to or such pronouns are used to refer to each and every one or every member of the group. So to refer to each and every member of the group, each and every member of the group. So it is called a distributive pronoun. Okay, so it is called a distributive pronoun. So distribution refers to the act of giving away or distributing something to each and every participant. So these pronouns are called distributive pronouns because they are used to refer to each and every one of the group. So each, every, either, neither. Each and every, either and neither. These four are called distributive pronouns. Okay, so distributive pronouns are used to refer to each and every one of the group. Now I will give you simple examples for these distributive pronouns. Each of them, see, each of them is sports person. Each of them is a sports person. Each of them is a player. Each of them is a singer. Okay, like that. Each of them. Here each refers to a group of people are there. It stands for each and every one of the people of that group. Okay. Therefore, each of them is a sports person. Each of you is each of them. Okay, fine. So then everyone was given a book. Everyone was given a book. Everyone was given a book. See, each one is called for meeting. Each one is called for meeting. What does it mean? All members, each and every member of the group. Okay, and in the same way, everyone was given a book means there are a group of peoples and each and every one of that group is given book. Okay, fine. Either of the road, see, either of the roads leads to market. Either of the roads leads to market. Here, see, of the roads, plural form has to be used. Okay, either of the roads, of them. Of phrase, after of phrase, we have to use only plural nouns. Okay, fine. So either of the roads. So both roads leads to the same place. Either of the roads, either of the books are interesting to read. Okay, neither of the boys was present. Neither of the boys was present. So they are called distributive pronouns. Each, every, either, neither. So each and every stands for each and every member of the society, each and every member of that group. That's important. Each and every member of the group. Okay, fine. So each one is given Each one is called. Each one is called for the meeting. Each one is given chocolate. Everyone was given a book. Everyone was appreciated. Everyone was appreciated. Okay, fine. Either of the roads. So you have two roads. Both roads are leading to the same place. Okay. See, either of the roads leads to market. And then neither of the boys was absent. You should know here the difference between either and neither. If you use either, it stands for two. Both are useful. Both are equally useful. But if you use neither, it also stands for two, but both are negative. Both are not useful. Okay, that is the sense of neither. That was the sense of either. So when you use either, either books means this book and that book. Both books are useful. Okay, either of the books is useful, but neither of the books is useful means this book is also not useful, that book is also not useful. Okay, so you should know the difference. So each, every, either and neither, they are called distributive pronouns because they stands for or they refer to each and every one of the group. Okay, fine children. Then third kind. What is the third kind? I will give you definition for the third kind as well as example. Third one is possessive pronouns. Third one is possessive pronoun. What do you mean by possessive pronouns? As I told you already, possessive pronouns. They stands for the possession or belongingness. Possessive pronoun shows the possession or belonging. Okay, it shows possession, ownership. So possessive pronouns stands for possession, ownership, belonging. Okay, so they are called possessive pronouns. See, for I, possessive pronoun is my. For we, possessive pronoun is our. For you, possessive pronoun is your. For he, possessive pronoun is his. For she, possessive pronoun is her. For it, possessive pronoun is its. For they, possessive pronoun is their. Their. So I, my, we, our, you, your, he, his, she, her, it, its, they, their. So they are all called possessive pronouns. Normally, these possessive pronouns are derived from possessive adjectives. Okay, possessive adjectives. See the form. We call them as possessive adjectives, and possessive pronouns are derived from these adjectives. See, my, mine. Which one is possessive pronoun? See, this mine. Okay, possessive pronoun is mine. Then our, ours. Our, ours. Your, yours. I will write in this way, then you can easily compare. See, my, mine. Our, ours. Your, yours. His, his. Her, hers. It's both form are same. Their, theirs. So they are called possessive adjectives. They are called possessive pronouns. Okay. So possessive pronouns comes at the end of a sentence. For example, this is my pen. This is my pen. If you are asked to change it, the possessive adjectives should be changed into possessive pronoun. Mean this pen is mine. This pen is mine. Okay. In this way you can easily change. This is our country. This is our country. This is our country. Okay. Our is a possessive adjective. You have to change into possessive pronoun. This country is ours. This country is ours. Okay. This is your pen. This is your pen. This pen is yours. See, this is your pen. This pen is yours. That is your book. That is your book. Possessive adjective. What is a possessive pronoun? That book is yours. That book is yours. Okay, so the book on the shelf, the book in the shelf is mine. The book in the shelf is mine. My book is in the shelf. See, my book is in the shelf. You can rewrite the same sentence in such a way. The book in the shelf is mine. The book in the shelf is mine. You can say like that. Okay. So that new boy, see, that new bag is hers. This is her new bag. That new bag is hers. Okay, fine. In this way, possessive pronouns are separated from possessive adjectives. I, me, my, mine. The form is very important. We, us, our, ours. You, your, yours. He, him, his. She, her, hers. It, its. Both form are same. They, them, theirs. Okay, nice children. Next type, interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns. What do you mean by interrogative pronouns? How these interrogative pronouns are used in the sentence to make interrogation. Interrogative pronouns. Next, interrogative pronoun. Interrogative pronoun. So there are some pronouns, some question words. They are used as pronouns. There are some question words. They are used as pronouns. They help us to frame questions. Such question words which help us to produce questions are called interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are used to make inquiries or to ask questions. To ask questions. So they are the question words. These question words are functioning as pronoun. At the same time, these question words help us to frame questions or to make inquiries. Therefore, they are called interrogative pronouns. For example, what? It's a question word. What do you want? What is an interrogative pronoun? It helps us to frame question. Then who? It's a question word. Who is he? Who are you? They are all interrogative pronouns. Then which? Which is your pen? Which is your pen? So this is an interrogative pronoun. Then whom? Whom do you want to meet? Whom do you want to meet? Okay, then suppose for what's he? Here it stands for the profession. What's your father? If anyone asks you, you have to answer the profession of your father. Okay, what's he? What's your father? What do you want? Objective case. For suppose, what do you want? Here in the first sense, what is he? Here I used this what as a nominative case, that is subject form. But in the second, what do you want? I used as an object form. Okay, so fine. So these pronouns, what, who, which, whom, they are called interrogative pronouns because these pronouns helps us to frame questions or to make inquiries. Therefore, they are called interrogative pronouns. Here one thing you have to note, these question words, what, which, who, whom, they are functioning as pronoun in a sentence. First of all, that you have to know. They are functioning, they are using as personal pronouns in the sentence. At the same time, they help us to frame questions. Therefore, they are called interrogative pronouns. Okay, children? Okay. So, demonstrative pronoun, distributive pronoun, possessive pronoun, interrogative pronoun. Next, we are going to see reflexive pronoun. What do you mean by reflexive pronoun? You know that reflection, light reflection. You might have studied in your science, light reflection. If anything jumps or bounds upon the place where it starts, it is called reflection. So reflexive pronouns are used when the action of the subject turns back or reflects upon the subject. See, they are called a reflexive pronoun. A reflexive pronoun. So when the action of the subject reflects upon the subject, action of the subject reflects upon the subject, then it's called a reflexive pronoun. Action of the subject reflects upon the subject. So how can we understand these things? How these reflexive pronouns are formed? Yeah, I will explain. I, do you know the reflexive pronoun for I? Myself. The reflexive pronoun for I is myself. The reflexive pronoun for we is ourselves. Ourselves. The reflexive pronoun for you, yourself. If it is used as plural, then you stands for yourselves. Yourselves. You have to add self, selves. Okay, fine. Then for he, himself. He, himself. She, herself. It, itself. They, themselves. Themselves. Okay, so let me explain once again, children. Reflexive pronouns. What is the function of the reflexive pronoun? It shows the action which bounds upon or reflects upon the subject. So reflexive pronouns are used when the action of the subject, the action done by the subject reflects upon the subject itself. So when a pronoun does or performs that function, then it is called a reflexive pronouns. These reflexive pronouns are generally formed by adding self or selves to the base form of pronouns. Okay, fine. For I, the reflexive pronoun is myself. We, ourselves. You, yourself. Plural, you, yourselves. He, himself. She, herself. It, itself. They, themselves. Now I will give you some sentences for your better understanding, children. See, you just follow me. Pay your good attention. I have hurt myself. I have hurt myself. See, who has hurt here? I have hurt myself. So it just reflects upon the subject. Okay, therefore this is called a reflexive pronoun. I hurt. I have hurt myself. So this myself reflects upon the subject I. Therefore it is called a reflexive pronoun. We should respect, see, you should respect yourself. You should respect yourself. You should respect yourself. See, this reflexive pronoun yourself reflects upon the subject you. Whom you have to respect, you should respect yourself. Therefore, it is a reflexive pronoun. Then we must do ourselves. We must do ourselves. So it reflects upon the subject be. Therefore, it is a reflexive pronoun. He hates himself. Whom he hates himself. He hates himself. So it reflects upon the subject he. Then she killed herself. She killed herself. Whom she killed? She killed herself. It hurt itself. It hurts itself. Then they hid themselves. They hid themselves. Okay. I have given here sentences and examples for all reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns reflect upon the action done by the subject reflects upon the subject. So such pronouns are called reflexive pronouns. It refers to the action reflects upon the subject. How these reflexive pronouns are formed? I, myself, we, ourselves, you, yourself, he, himself, she, herself, it, itself, they, themselves. See, I have hurt myself. Here myself reflects upon the subject. You should respect yourself. It reflects upon the subject you. We must do ourselves. It reflects upon the subject we. He hates himself. It reflects upon the subject he. She killed herself. Here it reflects upon the subject she. It hurts itself. It reflects upon the subject it. And they hit themselves. It reflects upon the subject they. Okay. So they are all called reflexive pronouns. And then next, emphatic pronouns. The same form. Myself, yourself, ourselves, himself, herself, itself, themselves are used with the subject for emphasizing certain things. They are called emphatic pronouns. See, emphatic pronouns. Emphatic pronoun. Emphatic pronoun. See, myself, we, ourselves, you, yourself, he, himself, she, herself, it, itself, they, themselves. So, how they are used as emphatic pronouns? The same form are used as reflective pronouns, reflexive pronouns. Here they are used as emphatic pronouns. Then what is the difference? Only the place where we are going to use these pronouns. See, emphatic pronouns emphasize the noun they refer to. It emphasizes the person who did it. It emphasizes. See, I myself typed the letter. I myself typed the letter. Here you may have a question. Who has typed the letter? Who typed the letter? I myself. Without anyone's help. Here the action done by the subject is emphasized. Here the action done by the subject is emphasized. Okay. Therefore they are called emphasizing or emphatic pronouns. It emphasizes the noun they refer to. We ourselves did the work. We ourselves did the work. So here they emphasize the subject. You yourself follow the traffic rule. You yourself follow the traffic rules. You yourself have to follow the traffic rules. So it emphasizes the work done by the subject. See, they refer to the noun who has done the work. He himself went to market. He himself went to the market. She herself cooked the food. She herself cooked the food. Okay, children, we just go through all these sentences, all the examples. Myself, ourselves, yourself, himself, herself, itself, and themselves. They are called emphatic pronouns. When they are used for emphasizing the work done by the subject. It specifies the subject, or it emphasizes the subject they refer to, or it emphasizes the noun they refer to. They are used for emphasizing. Therefore, they are called emphatic pronouns. But at the same time, the same form is also used to refer to reflexive pronouns. But there, what is the function of the pronouns? They just reflects upon the subject. The action done by the subject reflects upon the subject. For that they are used. Therefore, they are called a reflective pronoun. But here they are used to emphasize the work done by the subject. Therefore, they are called emphatic pronouns. This is the difference. Though the form is same, functions are different. So children, don't get confused. Okay, fine. The last one, relative pronoun. What is relative pronoun? How they are used in the sentence? I will explain. Relative pronoun. You know that relates means connecting. So there are some pronouns. These pronouns are used to relate the noun which comes before it with other elements of a sentence. That is called relative pronouns. Or simply, how can you say? See, relative pronoun. Relates means just giving a reference. So relative pronouns relates, it's an antecedent. Antecedent means the noun that comes immediately before such relative pronouns. So relative pronouns relates the noun that comes immediately before it with other elements of a sentence. Okay, so common relative pronouns are that, which, who, whom, whose. They are called relative pronouns because they just relates the noun that comes before these relative pronouns to the other words of the sentence, or it connects the noun which comes before it with other parts of a sentence. The noun that comes before these relative pronouns are called antecedent. You should know this word, children, antecedent. I will give you examples, then you can easily understand this concept. The car that I drive. The car that I drive is old. In the sentence, that is a relative pronoun. It just relates its antecedent. Which is the antecedent of this relative pronoun? That, here, car. So that car, which car? The car that I drive. The car which I drive. So here the relative pronoun that, here you can use which also. So it connects the car with the other elements of the sentence, with the other words of the sentence. Without this relative pronoun, you cannot relate this noun with the other parts of a sentence. Okay, fine. Then I'll give you one more example. The pen which I bought yesterday was nice. The pen which I bought yesterday was nice. The pen which I bought yesterday was nice. Okay, here which it connects the pen with other words of the sentence. Okay, so they are called a relative pronoun. And here you should know the difference. That is used when we are talking about only one thing. But when we talk more than one, when you want to specify which is used. Okay, which is used when we have more. I have so many pens. That pen which I bought yesterday was nice. Okay, so you should know the difference. And these relative pronouns are always used to form relative classes. Relative classes are formed with the help of these relative pronouns only. Therefore, they are called relative pronouns. They just relates its antecedent with the other words of the sentence or with the remaining elements of the sentence. Mr. Patel, I will give you two more examples. Mr. Patel, who is very kind, is my teacher. Mr. Patel, who is very kind, is my teacher. Mr. Patel, who is very kind, is my teacher. So Mrs. Usha, whom I like very much, is my teacher. Mrs. Usha, whom I like very much, is my teacher. Okay. So who the relative pronoun who relates this noun with the other nouns of the sentence or with other elements of the sentence. Here whom, relative pronoun whom, connects the noun, its antecedent, with other elements or with other parts of a sentence. Therefore they are called relative pronouns. So they are all the kinds of relative pronoun, children. Then the last but not the least, I would like to say one thing that's very important. See, where we have to use these relative pronouns, the uses of the relative pronouns. So I'll give you some examples also for that, the uses of relative pronoun. So when we use this relative pronoun to refer to a group of objects, uses of relative pronoun, uses of personal pronouns, not relative pronoun, uses of personal pronoun, uses of personal pronouns. Okay. See, when referring to a collective nouns as a single unit, personal pronouns can be used also singular. See, the army was well trained. The army was well trained. Then it defeated the enemy soundly. So referring to a collective noun as a single unit, it defeated the enemy. Look here, children, here we use the personal pronoun it. It stands for a group of objects, but all the individual objects of the group are considered as a single unit. If a group of things in a group, if the group see the things in a group, otherwise when referring to collective nouns as a single unit, this is called a collective nouns. So in the collective nouns you can have group of objects, but they are considered as a single unit. If it is so, there you have to use a singular pronoun. Sometimes when collective noun refers to collective nouns separately, then personal pronouns used must be plural. See, the jury divided in their opinion. See here, jury, you know that it is a collective noun, stands for group of judges. So when you talk about all these judges individually, separate units, then there you have to use plural noun, plural pronoun you have to use. When you consider the elements of collective noun as a single unit, there you have to use singular pronoun. Okay, so this is the difference, you should note it, very important. And then sometimes when two nouns of different genders, masculine or feminine, are used, the personal pronouns stands for the gender which comes very near to it. See, when two nouns of different genders are used, the pronoun used refers to the gender of the noun which is very nearest to it. Every man and woman took the seats. See, every man and woman, every man and woman took the seats assigned to her. Look here. Here man is a masculine gender, woman is a feminine gender. So when we use different genders in the sentence, then the pronoun what we are going to use in the sentence should relate with the gender which comes nearer to it. or the relative, see here what relative pronoun, what pronoun you have used, to her. So it stands for the gender which comes nearer to it, okay. In this way, the pronouns should be carefully used, children. So when we talk about the various elements of a collective noun as a single unit, then we have to use singular pronoun, or the pronoun should be used in the singular form, okay. When the elements of a collective noun are used separately, then we have to use plural form of the personal pronouns, okay. When the collective noun stands for singular objects or collectively, then singular pronouns should be used. When the elements of a collective noun are used separately or used for plural, then we have to use plural pronoun, okay children. I hope so all of you could understand well what is personal pronouns, what are the forms of personal pronouns, what are the kinds of pronouns, where we have to use. All these things you have learned in today's video class. Thank you children. If you have any doubts, you just make a note of it, then we will discuss in the online class. And you are supposed to and see here, I would like to give you the assignment or works also. See in your grammar book, page see A and B and C. So page number 20, A, B and C. You have to answer all these three exercises. Okay children, thank you. Have a nice day.